Hello ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm your host Airsoft Al, and today, well, it's another Operation Burning Star video. This one's actually doing a little bit of something, and I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh, you know, this is the basic stuff, but this one has a new class that I think a lot of you might be interested in, because being a gun guy, it kind of pisses me off when I start seeing certain guns lumped into one section, so let's just go ahead and kind of talk about it, shall we? Alright, so first off, today we're talking about classes of weapons and sort of what they fall into, what's the engagement distance, things like that. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a while now because, well, I've been getting a lot of questions about this, and we did kind of set this up for the Shiloh Fire event, but I wanted to kind of do this to let you guys know exactly what weapons classes we have and what you can use. So let's just go ahead and get down to the bare bones basic. Starting off with the basic one, pistols. Pistol class is essentially what it sounds like. It's basically any pistol that is a firearm that is chambered in a pistol caliber cartridge. I am sorry, I am stumbling on my words. Just came back from outside working, so my brain's racking around a bit. Anyway, so if you have a pistol, this is essentially your standard sidearm, be it from the 1911 to a Deagle, things like that. If it is a handgun that chambers a pistol caliber cartridge, be it, you know, a 44 mag or anything like that, then you are allowed to basically engage at close ranges. No, do know there is no bang bang rule or safety kill rule. Essentially, you can pull out and fire your handgun in case, you know, your main weapon goes down, you know, something like that nature. But you know, basic stuff. Now, there is, of course, some things I do ask you don't do. Obviously, do not shoot someone in the head. If you can, try and go for the body armor or, you know, the back, the chest, legs, arms. Don't go for the head. I beg of you, don't go for the head. I do not want any injuries happening at my event. But in terms of freedom, your pistol caliber is that. However, if you try to run as a submachine gun, no, we're not going to allow you to run as a submachine gun. Nor do we want you to run as a submachine gun. So if you think it's basically, if you have a big drum mag on and it has full auto, that you can try and classify it as a submachine gun, no, we're not going to classify it as a submachine gun. However, as a subcategory, if you have a stock on it, like, say, a Mauser M712, or you can put a stock on it, so that way you can run it as a pistol caliber carbine, then by all means, yes, we will see it as a pistol carbine, and you can at least use it as a pistol carbine. Not as a submachine gun. It will still be classified as a pistol carbine, and it will be seen as a pistol carbine, so you cannot run those full auto. You can only run those in semi-auto, or at least in the original action that it is. Now, if it's a Mauser M712, or something that has full auto capability, then we will see that as a pistol carbine that has full auto capability, and you can run that as a full auto pistol caliber, but you cannot say it's a submachine gun. Moving on. Speaking of submachine guns, a submachine gun will be seen as a pistol caliber weapon that is originally meant for stock or otherwise that has the ability to have select fire capabilities. That one you can run full auto if you want, but once again it has to be originally a submachine gun. Good examples, MP5s, Vectors, or even, of course, you know, something that is of that original design to be a submachine gun. That one will be a category class, and you have the engagement distance of that for 50 feet and 50 feet to 10 feet. However, once again, if you are going to try and shoot someone up close, we do ask that you at least do not aim for the head. That's all we ask. You don't aim for the head. You don't do anything stupid like that. That's what we ask. Now, another pistol caliber weapon platform that we will recognize is, of course, the PCC, a pistol caliber carbine. Now, unlike the submachine gun, a PCC is essentially a rifle platform that is converted to chamber, of course, pistol caliber rounds. Now, we will recognize this, and we will see this as that. A good example is, of course, the ARP-9, or even taking a rifle platform like an M4 or something like that and actually putting in the Angel Customs magwell adapter to feed MP5 magazines. We will recognize this as a PCC, and we will tell you the same thing with submachine guns, that you can engage a little, that the engagement distance is shortened, but once again, we ask that you don't shoot for the fucking head, and once again, you can go full auto for this one. Stepping away from pistol caliber weapons, we will now go to rifles. Sort of. Rifles are a little bit different. When we talk about when it comes to the rifleman class, you will have an engagement distance of 50 feet and beyond if you want. But once again, once you start getting closer to it, it's a little bit. Once again, because we don't have any safety rules or no bang bang rules, depending on the event, of course. Grant, this is my events, my Tennessee-based events. This is sort of my weapon rule set. More or less, once again, the rules may change in terms of if we have a bang bang or a safety kill rule. Now, in terms of rifles that we will recognize, that will, of course, be anywhere from, say, M16, AK platforms, HK rifles, Tavors, and AUGs, and or any other bullpup weapon system that takes a rifle caliber cartridge. Once again, if you're using a rifle or you're a rifleman class, then we do ask that you do go semi-auto. However, because most of the Tennessee events are going to be fighting in the woods, you do have that option to flip to full auto. Understand now, you only go full auto if you have to. It's one of those situations where we will tell you, or at least the commanding officer, i.e. myself at the Tennessee event, will tell you that you can go rock and roll, but only go rock and roll if A, there's vegetation in the way and you have to cut through it, B, you're in a situation where you need to go full auto to get out of a situation, or C, the guy ain't calling his hits, so you need to put a lot of rounds down range. That's how it is. Now, as a substitute to that, light machine guns, or at least the machine gun class. The machine gun class is a little different, because unlike most events, we do recognize a lot of LMGs, LSWs, MMGs, HMGs, and SAWs. Now, depending on how your weapon is set up, we will recognize it in one of those categories. If you're coming with an M250 cal, we will recognize it as an HMG. If you come with something that is still bipod, like, say, a Browning 30 cal, or something that has to be on a tripod because you cannot wag that fucker around, we'll see it as an MMG. Good examples of the MMG, besides, of course, the Browning 30 cal, is the M249, the M240, and, of course, the MG3 and or MG42. Now, LSWs and SAWs kind of fall into two different categories. A LSW that we will see in LSW, can't believe I said that 3 times because I was... An LSW, as a good example, is, of course, LSW slash, LMG will be seen as like an automatic rifle. A good example is, of course, the BAR, or even, BAR, the M249 SAW, or even the M249 Para, or even the Mini-Me. Another example of this will be something like an RPK or the M27 IAR. These will be seen as LSWs or LMGs, as well as SAWs. Basically a light mobile machine gun that is maneuverable in that position and can send a lot of rounds down range accurately. And you have that ability to swip, and unlike most events, we will tell you, you will have the freedom to handle that weapon how you see fit. You can either use drum mags, you can use drum mags with it, but if you're going to use it as a rifle, you have to have mid-caps at least, because all of our events will require you to have mid-caps on you, or if it's a small event for newer players and things like that, we will allow a mixture of mid-caps and high-caps. Now, in terms of the machine gun position, as well as the LSW, LMG, and the SAW classification, we will tell you that yes, drum mags are available, but the weapon has to be set up purposely as a, once again, LSW, SAW, and LMG. Essentially meant to be just a high rate of volume fire weapon meant to suppress positions or otherwise. I understand this event is ran by gun nuts, so we will handle that as gun nuts, and we will recognize that weapon as in that clarification and classification of machine gun. Snipers and DMRs, because of course. Sniper rifles, that's a given. Sniper rifles, of course, can be anything from a bolt-action gun to a large caliber anti-material rifle. We will recognize the Barrett 50 cal not as a DMR, because that is beyond fucking stupid, but as a anti-material sniper rifle. And your engagement distance with snipers is 100 feet and beyond. And you will have to act as such. Now, we will not have any special rules when it comes to anti-material rifles saying, they can take down vehicles or anything like that, because even though in the real life, anti-material rifles can do that, in airsoft we don't really know if that's something we cannot replicate, because once again, when it comes to big, large caliber weapons and trying to say, oh, you got hit by this, your vehicle's down, we're not going to do that. And that's just how it is. Now, when it comes to DMRs, this is where it gets a little, I guess it's going to get a little complicated, because there's another subclass of weapons category that we will be recognizing as well, and we'll have a set of rules for. Designated marksman's rifles are purposely built rifles for designated marksmanship. Once again, a good example is a Dragunov, or a PSG-1, or a M14 EBR. What I'm trying to say is, if you have something that is 7.62 or 308 that is purposely built to be a designated marksman's rifle, we will recognize that, and we will tell you you can only run it in semi-auto, you only have a 100-foot engagement distance, and you cannot, break that 100-foot engagement distance. And you are to be put in that role of designated marksmanship. Now, as a subcategory of that, we have battle rifles. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be immediately scratching your head because you're thinking, well, now, wait a minute, wouldn't battle rifles technically be lumped into designated marksman's rifles? No, they are fucking not. Here's the thing. Designated marksman's rifles are purposely built for marksmanship. Battle rifles are purposely built to be just that. Battle rifles. BRs. A battle rifle, we will recognize, a battle rifle is a 7.62 or 308 caliber round chambered weapon system that is large and hard-hitting. Now, here's the difference between a DMR setup and a BR setup. A BR setup is essentially just a rifle with either iron sights or an ACOG or even red dot sight, and you have and you basically are lumped in with the standard rifle class. However, the battle rifle class will only have a 50-foot engagement distance and below, much like the rifle class. Now, understand that you have the ability to run it either semi-auto or full auto, depending on if that BR has a fire selector. And if you want to run that in either semi-auto or full auto, that's your freedom to do so, because once again, we're fighting in heavy woodlands, and you're going to have to punch through all that overgrowth and brush, and or fighting in the trenches. Now, unlike a DMR, a BR, like I said, we basically are recognizing the different weapon platforms and how they're set up. If you're coming in with an M14 with a high-powered optic and a bipod, and it's set up specifically for designated marksmanship, we will designate that as a DMR. However, if you're coming in with an M14, and when I mean M14, I mean basic wood stock, long-rifled M14 with the 20-round magazine or 20-round mid-cap that is specifically designated as a battle rifle, and you're using it as a rifle, then we will recognize that as a battle rifle, and we will see that as such. Other weapons we will recognize as battle rifles if they're set up specifically for frontline use. G3 rifles, FNFALs, SLRs, M14s, and any other 7.62 and or 308 caliber battle rifles that are specifically designed for frontline use. Once again, unlike most events, we do recognize the weapon platform and how it works, and we will give you the liberty to use that weapon platform to its fullest and most heavy potential. However, if you pop a high-power optic on that, when I mean high-powered optic, I mean an actual high-power optic on that rifle, and you tell us that is a designated marksman's rifle, we will see it as a designated marksman's rifle, and we will say this is your role in the event, or this is what it is, and we will write it down as such. Finally, as a big one, shotguns, because boomsticks! Shotguns are shotguns. We're just going to recognize it as a shotgun. You're going to run it as a shotgun. We will see it as a shotgun. It's a shotgun. That's that. And if you're coming in with a single barrel shotgun, we'll see it as a slug gun, and we will tell you to run it as a slug gun. We're not going to tell you to run it as a shotgun, load double-aught buck, and basically go out there and start spraying BBs everywhere with that tri-shot, what have you. But we will tell you that if you're going to run it as a slug gun, run it as a slug gun if it's a single-barrel gun. And that's it. Obviously, you're wondering about, okay, what about explosives? What about grenades? They're grenades! They're rockets! You're telling me you want us to try and classify that? They put in a round in a big old tube that locks into place, or comes down and locks into place, or has 6 barrels to lock into place, and basically sends 40 Mike or any other explosive way down range, and makes things go boom! It makes things go boom! It make boom boom! Did you want us to try and classify something as boom boom? Anywho. Now, I know a lot of you are probably going to ask, Al, how are you going to classify them as such? How are you going to log them in? How are you going to do this? Here's how we're going to do it. It's going to be done on day 1 with administration. We will have a classification right up there, and you can look at it and see exactly what your weapon classifies as. Because I know a lot of people probably don't really have this mentality of airsoft where it's like, oh, it's just a DMR because it's this. No. Hell no. Unlike most, we're going to treat these guns as actual guns, and we're going to tell you exactly, with the setup, what exactly it does. So, with that said, when you come to the event and you come to administration, day 1, we'll basically look at your gun, and we'll basically tell you, okay, this is a DMR, this is what you can do with it, this is your restrictions. Oh, that's a battle rifle. Here's that thing. Here's the restrictions. Oh, obviously that's a submachine gun. Those are the restrictions. But if you try to argue with us and say, oh, no, we can't, that's not this, it's this, we're not going to basically take your shit and we're going to tell you exactly the rules, because unlike most, we are sticklers for rules. And if you try to say your PCC is actually an SMG, no, we're not going to recognize that. We're going to recognize that as an we're going to recognize it as a PCC, and we're going to tell you to run it as a PCC. Like I said, the most I want to do is make it as realistic as possible to a degree, because I love guns. I love recognizing them and what they can do. And unlike most, I want this event to be as educational as well as fun to those who are new to guns. Because I know a lot of people who get into airsoft only know guns from, like, Call of Duty or Battlefield. So it kind of pisses me off when I see people saying it's this, when in reality it's fucking this. And like I said, folks, that's more or less the weapons class. Now, understand we're still hammering out this stuff. We're still hammering out engagement distance, things like that. So things might change, but I do tell you now, we are going to tell you exactly what you can run. So if you're coming in with a G3 running straight up irons, that's a battle rifle. You come in with an M14 with a high-powered optic, bipod, what have you, that's a DMR. You come in with a fucking Barrett 50 cal, that's an anti-material rifle, that's a fucking cannon. You can run that thing as a sniper rifle and or anti-material rifle, not a fucking DMR. If you come in with a bolt-action gun, that's a sniper. And again, we're still working it out, because even then, if you're coming in with a basic bolt-action rifle with just iron sights, you can run that as a rifle. If you come in with a M712 with a stock on there, that's a pistol carbine. You can run it as a pistol carbine. Again, things are going to be different with our Milsim series, unlike other Milsim series. So, yeah, that's how it is, and that's all I have to say. So, if you enjoyed this video and you want to leave your comments down below on how we can run this system and how the system can be improved to be as fun and equal to all weapon platforms, let us know down below in the comments section. And would you kindly consider liking, subscribing, and going down to the Facebook page for Operation Shiloh Fire, because once again, well, not just Operation Shiloh Fire, but also OBS as a whole, because the Facebook is right there in the comments section, on the pinned comment. And would you kindly consider donating to our PayPal? It's folks like you that help keep this channel alive, and it's folks like you that actually help make this Milsim event possible. So, would you consider leaving your thoughts on the class systems down below and how you think they would work out and what you think we should do with them, or at least how we can improve them? And, yeah, leave a like, dislike, comment, hit the notification bell, subscribe, and I will see all you lovely people in the next video. Till next time, later!